welcome to Express Yourself, the podcast where we learn to master the art of communication.
I'm Bree.
And I'm B. And today we have a very special guest joining us, Crystal.
Yay! Hi guys, hi.
So excited.
Shout out to you guys and thank you for making me your first guest.
We're so happy that you're here.
Yes. We've known Crystal for about 3 years working together, and it has been awesome getting to know her. So she's coming here so we can talk about our topic today, which is communication in the workplace.
As we know, communication is taxing for a lot of us, and being able to do that with people we know is somewhat challenging, and then doing it with people that we don't know and are kind of like forced to be working with because we don't know who people hire. It's always nice to be able to find a common tongue and a common language, and me and Crystal have been able to accomplish just that in our journey. And so we thought she would be a great guest to be able to come here and share experiences of working in a workplace together and what that's like.
Yes, so we wanted to ask you a couple of questions to gain some insight on what you think communication in the workplace is like. So, in your opinion, why is effective and honest communication critical in the workplace?
I feel like I'm gonna hold this. Hi guys, it's me. Okay, what I feel like is a very effective way in the workplace is getting along with your coworkers. And I know sometimes coworkers are not the best, and sometimes it's a lot of different personalities. But at the same time, your workplace is your second home. So I know certain people leave their house to escape whatever problems they have, and then go to a workplace that is toxic is not good for them. So I feel like communication is key. Always maybe start the conversation, because for example, when I even in any job is you get so nervous because you don't want to say the wrong thing, you don't want to leave a very bad impression. So that's why a lot of people keep to themselves, and which is not really a really good thing, because once you get to know people, you could collaborate, you could see what their interest is, and it's such a beautiful thing because the person you least expect can have the most thing in common,
and you make friends.
Yeah.
What strategies have you found most effective for communicating with your team, especially in a remote and hybrid work environment?
So one thing I learned is that we're living in the day and age of remote learning. Everything has turned remote. Everything is technology. And I wish we could sometimes go back on how always, like back in the day, like early 2000s, where there was no computers. They used to like roll out the TV. Yes, I wish we were
on those push carts.
Yes,
right, with the VCR.
Yes, I wish we were in those times still. But now, because everything turned remote after COVID, it's kind of hard because everybody just shuts off the camera and do whatever they want, not even paying attention or even know what's going on, or they just looking at the clock waiting for lunchtime. So it's just like, it sucks at the same time, because like you need to interact with humans, and which is very, very important.
Yes.
So I feel like what have an effective like remote learning is like working as a team. Like for example, like our higher ups ask us like, oh, like what are some things that we should do so we can all collaborate together. That'd be pretty cool. Like even like icebreakers or like cahoots, little things like that, because that gets me excited. Like if you tell me a game, I want to play, I want to win. So it's just like I feel like you could also find out more from your other coworkers, and also like it could be an exciting way of like doing remote learning. It's just hard sometimes because it's just like you want to communicate with others, and with the screen facing another screen is it's not cool. But I feel like communicating or even doing like breakout rooms are really fun. I like breakout rooms. And then maybe like even like our higher ups could be like, you go to a certain breakout room if you like apples or like something like that, like something fun. Like one breakout room could be like apples, one could be oranges, one could be bananas, and then relatable or like something funny in a way.
Right. Absolutely. And I think it's so important what you said about having a screen between people. One of the first things we talked about on the podcast and on our first episode is body language and being able to see what the person is saying, because so much of it is body language. Body language is 55%, words are 7%, and our tone of voice is 38%.
Right. Body language and nonverbal communication is one of the first things that we notice when we are meeting someone. So just as if you were going in for an interview, you want to present yourself in a confident way. When you're meeting your coworkers, you want to show them a good impression. You want to take that first step, as Crystal said, and make yourself impressionable.
And
And
screens don't allow us to do that too much
yeah,
anymore. People, like, I know, and I'm guilty of that too. If we have a remote day, I try now more because I just want to be more efficient in my day. And I feel like now if I wake up and I like get ready half an hour before I feel like I did something, before I would just like roll out of bed
Yeah.
and then just turn on my, you know, video. Well, turn off my camera, turn on my video, and then
Yeah.
continue with like whatever it is that I was doing. So for myself to be more efficient, I like the idea, even if I am remote, to like have a plan of some sort for my
Yeah.
day.
100%, 100%
another question that we would like to ask you,
Yes.
Crystal, is what advice would you give our higher ups, our managers, our administration, to help them
Supervisors.
communicate, and supervisors to help us communicate, to help them communicate better with us and their teams in the workplace?
Yeah.
So one thing I would definitely say is to do a lot of bonding exercises, because the thing is, this world is full of personalities. No personality will match yours at the end of the day, and it's as us humans, we have to like maneuver that and see what clicks and what doesn't. So, and it's okay if you're not friends or don't get along with somebody, or your guys' energies don't match, but at least you tried. That's what's the most important thing. And also with admin or managers, supervisors, or whoever's a higher up, I feel like they have to speak to their staff and see what they want, because in a job you get new people every other day, every month, new managers, new etc. And it's good to work with each other, because at the end of the day we're all humans, and it's everything is just a title. At the end of the day we all have feelings, and I know like working could be hard and people be having bad days and stuff like that, but it's just better we all work as a team doing bonding exercises, or doing like even like a field day, and like being picked randomly, like don't go with your same usual people. I think that would be fun. And I feel like when people do that, you a lot of people will have a great workspace. At the end of the day, your workspace is your second home.
Right.
You spend more hours in work than home on the weekday, not weekend. But I'm saying like sometimes you don't even see your loved ones because you at work or you're too busy doing something at work. So I just feel like with the bonding experience, getting to know each other, starting conversation, and then there's so many ways to start conversation too. And also for our higher ups to start conversation with us, asking for what we want or what we expect from them also. Because it's not always them asking us. We have to ask them too. Like, hey,
I think to piggyback off of that, it's important to be able to not just ask, but also receive what's being said. So, yes, you want to have, and I think that's what made our relationship. I think all of us can agree here that when we have something to say, we say it in a way that the other person can not only relate to, but we show that we have the empathy and the sympathy and the space for you to come. Even if you know it might hurt my feelings, you telling me in a way that makes me feel like you're doing this to help better myself, I will accept that. And I think that if we could all learn to be able to share that in all our environments and all our communication environments, we would see, as we see here, the product of that. How have you worked on your own communication skills in your professional relationships?
okay, guys, this is gonna be a long story short, but I am second generation Dominican. I come from a Spanish household. I learned speaking Spanish until the age of what? I'm a Spanish speaker, but I didn't start learning English until maybe like second grade in a way. A lot of doctors told my mom that I might have a disability, but it was just me not wanting to learn English because that was not something normal for me because I come from a Spanish household. And then growing up, I was always in ESL classes. I didn't know my difference between B's and D's, P's and Q's, which kids still have that same situation. But me growing up, I just felt so not included in classrooms because I wasn't the best, or I didn't know certain grammars. I didn't know what was a noun versus an adjective. So like me growing up learning early literacy was just like very, very tough for me. And then I remember in the 8th grade I had a situation that one of my social studies teacher told me to go back to my country because I said something in Spanish. So like things like that like was like belittling me. Like damn, like I'm not really nothing if I don't know English. Or like in a ways of communicating with others because everybody knows English. And then even when I got into high school, I went to a Catholic high school. I was not getting honors or anything because I didn't want to communicate. Like I didn't really care. I didn't want to learn because I felt like I'm just a regular Dominican girl. Like I don't need this. I don't need to communicate with others. I'm never gonna see these people ever again anyway. So it was just like really tough for me. And then going into college, I had to decide like what was my career, and I always wanted to be an educator. I wanted to teach others. So when I went to college and I signed up for my first class, I had to write a paper. I don't really remember. It was like something about educating others. And then my professor literally gave it back to me and he said, "This is horrible. I don't want this." And that made me sad. Like the tears were coming out. And I was like, wow, like, because I don't know how to speak English correctly or I don't know certain things correctly. I don't belong in this world because I can't communicate with others. So after that, I dropped everything. I dropped my degree. I changed it to health service administration. After I was in college for like 5 years, then COVID hit, and then everything turned remote during that process. And I like learned like you have to communicate, like, and it sucks because when I was growing up, like I didn't want to communicate with others in a way. And then like after COVID, I had like the realization like I could put anything I want to put my brain to, and I'm possible of doing anything I want to. So I went back to school. I became the person I wanted to become. Now I teach others, and I'm proud of myself. So please don't let anybody tell you no. Communicate, speak up. Doesn't matter if the person don't feel the same way. At least you speaked up, and then at the end of the day, you could go to sleep happy and not linger or worry about what other things or what other people say. You are important and you matter.
That's so beautiful. Absolutely. That's a amazing development of
Yes, you've
the
definitely come very
importance.
far.
Yeah, and the importance of what communication plays in a life and how important it is to be able to ask for the things you want of yourself and not judge yourself for what other people think. We'd like to leave you with a quote, courtesy of Crystal. Clarity and Connection by Young Pablo. We can certainly share ways to better support each other, but first you need to accept each other's truth and move on from there. So we hope that you find a way to speak to yourselves kindly and to others kindly, because as you see, kind words get you places, and so do dark words. Choose your words wisely.
Yes, and we hope that Crystal's words were able to give you some insight and help you better your own communication and maybe speak up for yourself in the workplace and try to take the first step and communicate with your coworkers and make some more connections.
Develop bonds and friendships. Yes, thank you so much for joining
Yes.
us. You're such a pleasure.
Thank you guys for having me. Please invite me back.
We
Love
are,
you
I
guys.
was just thinking the same thing. We'll definitely have to have you back. So we'll see you next time. Bye.